On the weekends, it's just kind of a hobby for them to hunt mountain lion. It jumped out of the tree and literally ran right by me. The way I found out was not in a good way. My A1C was 11. It said 1 in every 1,000 have diarrhea with it. Well, guess who was the 1 in 1,000?
Located deep in the heart of Texas and live from the Hard Rock Ranch in Studio A1C, it's Diabetes Sucks, but Life Doesn't Have to, the talk show, with your host, Brian Reynolds. I'm your announcer, Bill Tiffany, along with the super talented one-man band leader, Dr. Dwayne Washington, inviting you to join BR and his guests. And now here's the man with the perfect 5.5 A1C, the man we call BR, Brian Reynolds.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Dr. Washington. And hello, everybody, and welcome to Diabetes Sucks, but Life Doesn't Have to. Owning a ranch is a lot like diabetes. Turn your back on it for even a day, and you'll have to work 10 times harder to get it back under control. Diabetes is harder to control than the meanest, orneriest bull known to man, and that ain't no bull. I'm totally excited to have my good friend and fellow rancher, Mr. Brad Wilcoxon, with us today. I've been good friends with Brad since the 1900s. I've told my story about diabetes, but today this is Brad's story. So Brad, welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Thank you, Brian. I really appreciate being here.
Well, I appreciate you coming. So I've known Brad since the 1900s. Like I said, we grew up together, went to school together. And one thing about Brad and me is pretty much everybody expected me to come down with diabetes at some point, but I actually found out about you just a few weeks ago, and I was shocked because if I had to say who was the best athlete growing up, without question, it was Mr. Brad Wilcoxon here. Brad was the record setter for football and track, basketball, everything he touched with a ball or with running shoes on, he excelled at it athletically. You were the strongest kid in school. You probably have been the strongest friend and man that I know for many years, and you come down with the incurable disease like diabetes, and I just, my heart broke for you when I heard that because I was pretty bad. So tell me about it. I said, when did you find out about it? How was that?
First of all, thank you for all the accolades.
Well, it's true.
I wasn't that great.
No, you were great. You were good. I was the anti-Brad.
Well, actually, diabetes runs in my family. My dad had it, and late in years. Of course, he had heart trouble too, but I've got a couple sisters that have it, and I've got a nephew that's got it really bad. He's up for kidney transplant.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, his eyesight got bad. He just totaled his truck. He can't drive anymore. So it does run in the family, but I'm like you. I never expected it to happen to me.
No way.
The way I found out was not in a good way. I actually went on a hunting trip in Wyoming.
Okay.
A friend of mine asked me to go. I had one scheduled with a guide in March. And this friend of mine, this was in January in Wyoming, they have a huge ranch they work on up there. And so on the weekends, it's just kind of a hobby for them to hunt mountain lions.
Whoa. You went on a lion hunt.
Mountain lion, yes, yes.
Okay.
So anyway, I was going to make it a long weekend to Wyoming, just go up there, and run a line, see if we could find them. Well, I got up there, and I've always gone hunting, high altitude, never had any issues. But I got up there, and I just didn't feel right. I had a headache the whole time I was up there, and they actually treed a lion, and I was the last one up there. Of course, there was snow on the ground, and lions like to get in the worst obvious place they can get to get away from people and the dogs. And anyway, it was hard to get up there. And so once I got up there, sure enough, they had the lion treed, and just about the time I got in position to really see the lion, it jumped out of the tree and literally ran right by me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so anyway, I got through that and made it home. And I guess it was that next day, I had a migraine so bad.
Oh, no.
I could not get any relief. I could not. I was crying. I was in so much pain.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible.
And I tried to take. I've never had a migraine, and this was the worst feeling
Yeah,
I've
you'll
ever.
know it when you have one.
Oh my gosh! So I told Wendy, my wife, I said, "You've got to take me to the ER."
Oh,
We didn't even make it. I mean, we were like 5 miles to the hospital, and we didn't even make it that far. And I had to throw up. I was in so much pain.
Oh, goodness.
So they get me into the ER, and they take blood tests, and I meet with the doctor, and he wants to know what's going on. And so the nurse, the ER nurse, came and asked me. She said, "Are you being treated for diabetes?" And I said, I'm not diabetic." And so she goes, "Okay." And so she left. And then she came back and she says, "And so you're not taking anything for your diabetes?" And I said, "Ma'am, I didn't know I was diabetic."
Really?
Right.
So that's when you found out?
That's when I found out that I was diabetic.
Wow.
And
Wasn't even your doctor?
the scary part about all that is I was buying these Reese's peanut butter cups by the bag, and I was eating maybe 7 or 8
Power
of those
food.
at night. And
That was probably what it was. You bought all the Reese's and then you freaking died.
yeah, I'm a diabetic coma probably.
Oh, my goodness.
But no, I would even go buy a birthday cake, small birthday cake, and eat it by myself. I mean, I love sweets. So anyway, I get out of the ER. They tell me I need to go see my regular doctor. And so I did. I made an appointment. And I took all the paperwork from the hospital with me. And I tell him, I said, "Yeah, they say I'm diabetic." Well, he gets on the computer and he goes, "Yeah, you're diabetic." And the last lab work I had taken showed I was diabetic.
But he didn't tell you.
Well, they had an admin that had early signs of dementia.
Oh, my gosh. Are you
She
serious?
was supposed to send me a letter, and she showed that she sent the letter. I never got it. This was 18 months before
You're
this
kidding me.
ER incident. So yeah, I was diabetic. I know 18 months prior
Oh, my
to
gosh.
that. Yeah, yeah. So anyway,
Well, did they do all the other stuff like your eyes and your feet and all that kind of stuff? And
no, not at that
it's just
time.
all blood work.
Yeah, it was just all blood work.
What did the blood work say? What was it?
I was almost like comatose. I mean, it was up close to 500. My blood
my
sugar
gosh.
level. My A1C was 11.
11.
11.
Well, that's still rookie status. I had 13. Okay.
Yeah. You get that award. I'll give you that award.
But that 500, that sounds like the
yeah,
Reese's,
it was bad.
the birthday cake. And
Yeah.
oh, Brad.
Yeah. So, here's the thing. The doctor, he writes you a prescription, says, "Here, take this." And that's all he told me, Brian. I mean, we
to
didn't
the
know
club.
what to do. Basically, I was kind of in shock. He gave me metformin, and when he did, he said, "Now, you shouldn't have any problem with this." He said, 1 in every 1,000 have diarrhea with it. Well, guess who was the 1 in 1,000? I mean, I got home, and I don't mean to be crude, but I about crapped myself. I mean, I had the penguin walk to the bathroom, So I had to call him. I said, "I can't do this."
Diabetes sucks, but it's also funny, folks. So
It is, but it isn't. So I know there's people out there that can relate to that.
now that's what this show is all about. Is I'm telling you what, I don't want to interrupt you here, but that was I don't remember crapping myself, but still getting the information that's easy to digest that's why we have these shows here, just sort of normal, just Joes or normal Brads, and can tell their story. What do they do? So
Well,
what'd you do?
and medications work for different people. I mean, there's probably, I think you're on metformin. A lot of people on metformin. We did some research. I say we, mostly my wife, Wendy, did the research on it, and to see really what fit best for me. And because the doctor, after I told him I couldn't take metformin, wanted to put me on Ozempic. And Wendy says, "No, I don't think that's going to work for you." And so he put me on a insulin injection, Soliqua, which I take every night. And along with
Check
that,
your stomach.
yeah, it's in the stomach, and I try to move it around,
Oh, my stomach looks like a Texaco road map with all the shots.
Right.
I got 'em made, so.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how it all started, and we just did research. Wendy, I think she ended up downloading what was it? Dummies for it was
Diabetes for
diabetes for dummies.
They actually
Thank you.
have that? I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever seen that.
And so we tried to learn what we could from that, what we needed to do, and basically diet, exercise, and medication.
Well, you said the magic words. I actually came up with the same thing that I use in all of my discussions and things that I do. I call it the trifecta effect. Diet plus exercise plus medication, but I break it down like a mathematical formula. Diet plus exercise plus medication equals lifestyle,
Right.
So
Yeah.
I like to think that you do all the things you're supposed to do. You get a lifestyle, you get to lion hunt, So how long ago was this that you first found out?
It was in 2023. 2024. It was
Okay, so you've had it for a couple of years now.
Yeah,
You've been
yeah.
doing something about it. So
Yeah, it was early 2024 when I found. I think it was in February, or the latter part of February, early March is when I actually found out.
So you've been taking the medicine, you've been watching your diet.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the trifecta effect for just a second. The diet plus exercise plus medications equals lifestyle. Give me a typical day, and Mr. Rancher here. What does yesterday look like? Let's just. I'm not going to challenge your memory too far. Surely you can remember 24 hours ago. So let's.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been nothing but work. We bought some property that we're trying to prepare to build a house on.
Okay.
So we're trying to prepare that property, and then we're trying to get our house ready to sell. And so it's been back and forth with that. As far as my exercise program, that is it right now.
Oh, it's better than any exercises work.
I don't have
work.
I don't have time to go into the gym right now. Prior to all this, I did. I worked out. I've got a little weight room in my shop. It's got air conditioning and everything. And so I was working out in it. I've got an elliptical in there.
Oh, wow.
And so I always tried to stay in shape. And
Ever since I've known you, you've always been. I mean, you were always kind of the go-to model for this is what you should look like. Somebody that looks like Charles Atlas. That has the tapered chest and the big muscles. And all this kind of stuff. But
well, I really got into weightlifting in my early 50s. A good friend of mine, he got me into the gym, and I mean, I stayed with it, and then we moved, and I got out of it.
Yeah.
But, it's important though, and I try to tell my grandkids, you don't quit. You just don't quit.
Oh, you shouldn't even start weightlifting unless you're planning on sticking with it, because it would just ruin your day is all that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I personally think that if I had to just kind of condense everything into what is probably the number one thing you can do, there is magic involved in actual weightlifting where you're working on strength training. That you know this, but not everybody does. But when you're building muscles, you're actually tearing your muscles apart.
Right.
And your body will spend the next literally 2 days, 48 hours rebuilding that muscle. Well, during that time, all those little enzymes and whatever it is that's in your body floating around, they're just eating up sugar like it's going out of style.
Right.
And so you kind of get something kind of sort of for free when you lift weights. That the results of burning sugar for a couple of days that's the most dramatic thing you can do. But then again, in my experience is having my diabetes, it's like you, is very hereditary. My father died from diabetes. I have many family members who have died from diabetes, heart disease. I don't guess you really die from diabetes. It's something else that happened because you had the diabetes,
Yeah.
And
It's a good point.
Yeah, so your pancreas is all beat up, your kidneys are shot, your eyes go, it's just something. But but taking care of yourself is number one thing. But I would have to say hard work, there is no substitute for that. But not everybody has a ranch. When you have a
Right.
ranch, there's always something to do.
Right.
And it's always something kind of hard to do. And most of the time you're by yourself, and so you have to sit there and figure out how I'm going to do this. So
Well, and that's the key. You have to make yourself get up and go. I don't feel like it every day. I don't want to get up and go out there and do those things that I do. But I make myself, even though I don't feel like it. It's just a way of life, and it's a mindset. You can't let it beat you up. You just can't. You've got to get up and go. And lifting weights, I did notice whenever I was lifting, and I plan on getting back into it as soon as things calm down for us. But my blood sugar level, it was at the lowest that, and it was
I swear that's part of my
consistent.
5.5 success.
Yeah.
Is, hey,
Yeah.
But I also walk. For me, I've had to do everything. So.
Right. Well, and it works. Yeah, I mean, it's proven it does work. So
Yes, it does. So tell me what you eat. We were making fun of your birthday cake. You picked out all by yourself on, and
well, I do eat sugar-free stuff, cookies and ice cream, sugar-free ice cream. You have to be real careful about that stuff too. Just because it says it's sugar-free,
that means calorie free, and
well, it's got carbohydrates still in it too.
which you got to learn to read the labels.
You got to learn. You got to learn. I mean, diabetes, dummies for diabetes. You know, I mean, you've got to
total carbohydrate tells the whole story.
Yes, sir. So you got to figure that stuff out. But I stay away from pastas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And now sourdough bread is
That's
supposed
where
to
we
be,
draw the line, right?
Yeah.
We got to have a loaf of bread every once in a while.
Well, I try to stick with sourdough because actually sourdough is not bad for diabetes.
Really?
Yeah.
Now tell me about that, because I don't know that I've ever heard anybody
Well,
make that claim.
and again, my wife does this research and whatnot, and so we try to stick mostly with sourdough breads. And
do y'all make it, or you just buy it at the store?
Wendy's got a bread maker, but
Really?
I don't think she's got the recipe for the sourdough yet. What it takes to make it, but yeah, she's
just
got
a
a
hood
bread
on it
maker.
right now, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So, but occasionally, I mean, I'll have a hamburger, and sometimes I'll take the bread off, just eat the meat and stuff.
There you go.
And sometimes I don't. Just
Well, I know if you like to hunt, you already started this whole story off. So,
Yes.
what does your freezer look like right now? What's in your
Well,
freezer?
I went on a moose hunt a couple of years ago, and the moose meat is wonderful. We do eat a lot of wild game, white-tailed deer. We eat a lot of that. We eat elk meat. I try to go elk hunting at least every year.
Oh, elk is awesome.
Yeah. So, and I realize there's not a lot of people that hunt and that eat that sort of thing. I just found out a while ago HEB carries elk meat and stuff.
That's where we get it.
That's what you shared with me. So I mean that was news to me.
Yeah.
Bison.
They got their own little section back there of
Yeah.
all this wild game stuff, And
So for those that don't hunt, that don't have a freezer full of wild game, I mean that's available to them too. So
my freezer is probably not as well stocked as yours, but we were talking earlier that about going pig hunting, and we hosted a big pig hunt. I'm just kind of really curious at this point, but what's your take on pork? Do you think that pork is, if you can get some wild pork, does that kind of run in the same circle, you think?
Yeah, I'm real careful about the wild pork. They carry some diseases, so I think the younger ones. I mean, if you can get the 80 pounders,
you got to know what you're doing there.
You really do. The older ones.
No, we're not doing that.
No, they're kind of gamey and
well,
nasty.
plus they weigh about 700 pounds. What are we going to do with that?
Right. But pork, I mean, we eat pork chops and stuff like that. That we do have to sometimes get from the store. So.
Yeah. So the wild game with the pork that I've seen, you just look at it, there's nothing fat on it. I mean, but I haven't really read anywhere it's like you hear about. It's kind of funny when you do research and what you can eat, and the bison meat comes up to the top of the list as being probably the healthiest and has all the good fats and all that kind of stuff. And then they make a pretty good honorable mention for deer and venison, elk and all that kind of stuff. But I don't ever see pork in this list somewhere.
Right.
But the pork that I've killed myself, just it looks there's no fat on it. It's this pretty lean looking stuff,
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you bring up pork. I mean, the mountain lion that I shot.
Okay.
We actually ate the mountain lion, and
you did cook it first, right?
Well, yes, we did, and it was funny because the guide he said, if you don't want that meat, we'll take it because, you know, we eat it. And I'm like, really? He says, oh, yeah, it tastes just like pork. And so, yeah.
I thought everything's supposed to taste like chicken if it didn't taste like beef.
Well, this did taste like pork.
Really?
Yeah.
Like really pork.
It was a little bit different, but I mean, yeah, it's pretty close.
Wow.
But
it was all lean.
It was lean.
You don't see
very
cats.
lean.
They don't look too
oh,
fat.
No,
usually.
no, there wasn't any fat. But
So what did you make with this thing?
I made fajitas out of it.
Okay, well, that makes
And
sense.
our church had a wild game supper.
Okay.
And it was like the next month when I got back, and so this meat was fresh, and I made a big batch of fajitas. And
Like it was the whole thing turned into fajitas, or did you have
every
like some-
bit of it. Every bit of it.
I guess if it tastes like pork, you would turn that cat into sausage, right? It wouldn't be hamburger meat probably, but
I don't know. I just
it was all fajitas at that point.
Yeah, at that point I was just all fajitas. But
Wow.
I'm telling you, every bit of it was eaten at that wild game supper.
Wow.
I mean,
You don't know what it was exactly. This is just all cat right here.
Yep. We had it labeled.
I'm
Mountain
surprised you
Lion.
didn't make like Chinese food.
Well,
That'd been easier to believe.
it was stir fried. I mean, you know, you put all that fajita fixings on it.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Well, that
yeah.
sounds pretty good.
yeah, it was interesting, but yeah, you can eat mountain lion.
Well, I don't want
My
to
first
just
experience.
dig down too deep into your personal life, but tell me about, your beautiful wife, Wendy. What was her lifestyle changed about? Because I know just from my own experience, my wife says, yeah, we both get diabetes now because she eats all the
That's
same things
true.
that I do. She doesn't have diabetes, but she definitely eats the same stuff I do. So how does that work at your house?
Well, it's not really the funny part, but the strange part about Wendy is she was diagnosed with Lyme's disease.
Oh, no.
So she had cut out sugar years ahead of this.
Oh, no. Okay.
And so we basically, I mean, she was already on this diet, so to speak.
But you were still sneaking out back and eating cakes.
I was eating the Reese's peanut butter cups in front of her and the cakes and all that. Yeah. But she cut out the sugars because Lyme disease. I mean, it's a parasite that feeds off sugar.
Oh, really?
And yes.
I didn't know
And
that.
yeah. Oh, she does all this research. In fact, I give her all the credit for this diabetes research because
So she
she's
was
the one
kind of
that's-
already there on the health kick, and
yes.
it was easy to make a leap for her and the
Yeah.
family. So the grandkids and everybody. But so my diabetes, when I was first diagnosed, and my weight, I've lost 65 pounds. And you would think that by itself would be really all you have to do, but it is more, diabetes is more complicated than just one single thing. But I think just because of the fact for me personally with diet, exercise, and the medication I take, that I actually have more energy. How has any of this translated for you, or do you feel bad still, or do you have?
I don't know. I mean, you can attribute some of it to age, but I don't have the endurance and the energy level that I used to have.
Yeah.
Of course, working all the time, I stay tired.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we work pretty hard.
So what's really, what keeps you up at night? What scares you the most about diabetes?
I think the heart part of it,
Yes.
because my dad had early heart disease. I've had high blood pressure since I was in the 20s. I've always been able to manage it, but it seemed like of late I've had issues with that, which they've changed medications and stuff. But like you said, diabetes affects so many of the organs of the body.
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, your feet, whatnot.
Your eyes, they're the first to go.
Yeah. And I don't know. But it's the heart. I think I worry
Yes.
more about that, having a heart attack, and than I do anything.
Well, and you're out there in the heat getting it
Yeah.
done, and so you're out there. You're a rancher. You have a gigantic financial obligation. I mean, owning a ranch is not free. There's nothing free about ranching, or unless you just don't care, then it doesn't really matter at that point. But how do you push through all that? Clutter,
Well,
noise.
I've always been driven, Brian. I've always been driven. I've always wanted to work hard. It's just been a way of life.
Yes.
And so I think it's just that driven part inside of me that wants to get up and do it.
Well, I was bragging on you being the strongest guy in the world and all this, but I've always thought how talented you are when it comes to just stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you're always the guy that could fix something. You kind of look at all the rest of us like we're a bunch of morons. Like here's a screwdriver, here's a pair of pliers. You are driven. Your dad taught you how to do all these things, and I'm sure you're the go-to guy in your family for fixing stuff. And so, but yeah, you are driven. You just know stuff. That's what I've always loved about you. So
yeah, I've had that drive, and that's what keeps me going. Now, that's why I think it's important to tell the audience, you got to force yourself to go. You know, you don't.
You got to have a reason to move to the next chapter.
Yes, sir. Don't let this thing beat you.
Oh, it'll do it.
It will.
If you don't care, guess what?
If you want to just eat what you want to eat, drink what you want to drink, and lay around and do nothing,
it's the perfect disease.
You'll be gone before long.
Yeah. You won't have much of a life.
No, you won't. And so you just, you got to make yourself go.
I know.
Find a reason.
Well, this is your story today. I keep telling you my story all through it, but when I was first diagnosed, I kind of went all in for the same reasons that you're talking about. My dad died at a pretty early age, relatively speaking, I guess, but of diabetes. And he was like you. I don't know if you remember my dad. He was a strong guy. He really was. But I tell you, he the day after Easter, I'm not making this up. This is the gnarliest thing I can come up with, okay? You're talking about your birthday cake and Reese's, candy bars and all that kind of stuff. He would actually go to the grocery store the day after Easter and actually buy those Easter eggs those kinds you just pitch out in the backyard. It's like wherever it lands, that's good enough, and he would walk around with a pocket of Easter eggs and just, you want an Easter egg? No, Dad, I didn't even want one on Easter. Those are pretty bad, But yeah, if you just kind of cave into it and just let it go, but you got to have something that's going on. You got to put your mind to work here. Life is supposed to be fun, and it shouldn't be a hardship. But yeah, it is. It's a dreadful disease. There's no doubt about that. So.
Well, and the word that comes to my mind is discipline. You just got to discipline yourself.
You do.
And make it happen. Again, if you don't, you're in trouble.
Yep. You have to accept it. And it's in some ways, for me personally, that is sarcastic and kind of nutty as this sounds. In some ways, I think diabetes actually was a good thing for me because there's such a long laundry list that obviously I was having. I was having weight issues. I was having blood pressure, high cholesterol. I was starting to really, before I was diagnosed, because I probably had this much longer than even what the doctor said. I was already having pancreatitis, pancreatic, and if anybody's ever have you ever had that, by the way? Oh my gosh, just stay away from that one, because it'll be the most painful thing. The only thing you can find that'll actually make pancreatitis just disappear for just a short time to give your body a chance to catch up is morphine. And so unless you're going to the truck stop and buying some out back someplace, the only other place I know to get morphine is at the hospital, okay? So I'd actually go to the emergency room and just say, hey, I'm having a pancreatitis attack. And they said, well, we can't just take your word for it. And like, I get it. And say, yeah, you're having a pancreatic attack. We're going to give you some morphine. I said, thank you. I'll take some right now. And that's the only thing that'll cool that off.
Wow.
And it takes a couple of days to go through your body. But I was having pancreatitis on a regular basis. I haven't had any pancreatitis at all since I've kind of went all in and diet and exercise and all these different kinds of things. So, there's just some things that you just don't want it to happen to you. But so like I say, I think diabetes in some ways kind of sort of saved my life, finding out that I had it, because I started dieting, exercising, and we talk about getting older and all that kind of stuff, and yeah, that's true. And the thing about diabetes is the older you get, the harder the diabetes wants to fight you.
Yeah.
And so that's when the discipline that you just mentioned kicks in. You have to work out.
Yeah.
You have to do something. You know, the American Diabetes Association, they highly recommend walking, and because that's something everybody can do. But if you have it really bad, you know, you really have to take control of that, and you have to go all in if you really want to, you know, live to be 80, 90 years old, you know. So I'm really proud that you're taking this seriously and doing that. So tell me more about the family, though, because that's who I, you know, look after, is really wanting my family to, I want to be around them and be there for them. So tell me some more about the grandkids and how that's affected you.
We've got 6 grandkids, and
Goodness.
that keeps us pretty busy. Got some older ones, we've got some little ones. The older ones now are in high school. I've got a couple that are 10-year-olds, and then we have 3 and 4-year-old. So, you know, they keep us busy. Got one that's real heavily into sports, my grandson, and hate to say this, but he's a lot like Papa.
Yeah, that's not, I would be hateful.
He looks like me, and he's driven like me.
Oh, hey, I can tell you right now, any of your kids, there's no DNA required. That grin of yours is in the family, okay? So
well, he's a handsome devil. I'm proud of him.
That's good.
I'm proud of all of them, but I'm proud of him. But I think he's going to be a real good athlete. In fact, I know he is. I mean, they actually broke 3 records in junior high this year on all the relays. They broke all the old records.
Wow.
So, and he was a part of that. So,
just leading the pack.
he's got some speed. But he's a good kid, and I pray. I'm a religious man. I'm a Christian man. I pray every day that this diabetes curse is taken from our family, and that nobody else has to deal with it. So,
Yeah.
because it is hereditary.
Yeah, it is.
But the other thing I was going to say too is Brian, people need to. We live in such a fast-paced world, and everybody wants fast foods and stuff like that. If you want to head this diabetes off, start early. I mean, because I found out late in age that I had it, but try to head this stuff off at an early age.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you're pre-diabetic, take it seriously.
You know, there's no such thing as pre-diabetic, in my opinion. If they say you're pre-diabetic, that's just a nice way of saying you got diabetes, okay?
Yeah. Well, but start then. I mean,
Yeah.
start right then, doing something about it. Another thing I was going to tell you about that I forgot to tell you that I did, and I quit doing it. And I don't know if you've heard of this before, insulin infusions.
No, tell me about it.
Well, my doctor, when I was diagnosed, he said, we can cure this. He said, we can cure this. I'm
Really?
like, okay. And they've just come out with insulin infusions, and my wife and I went to a seminar on it that the hospital held. And what they do, they hook you up to an IV, and they actually pump insulin into you.
Really?
And they monitor it. Yes. It's about a 4-hour ordeal once a week. Now, once they get you to where they want you, they can stretch that out. Maybe you may go once a month, once every 6 months, whatever. But I was in the process of going every month.
Oh, you actually did it?
I actually did it.
Okay.
And until I started getting bills from the hospital.
Oh, no.
We were told when we first signed up for it that my insurance covered it 100%. And Wendy was going to do it too, but she wasn't covered. She was different insurance than I am. So I thought, 100%, I'll do it. Well, it's supposed to help with your neuropathy. There was a doctor there.
But by the way, do you have that?
I do have it.
Oh, no.
Yes, I do. But there was a doctor there who was taking it for his macular degeneration, and it was helping him. His eyesight got better.
Really?
Yes. And so there were a lot of really good effects that this insulin infusion had. But I started getting bills for it. And I went on my moose hunt in Canada, and I got back, so I skipped a week there. I got back, and I went into the office. Of course, I had another infusion, went into the office and said, look, my wife, talked to the financial office, and I was supposed to be 100% covered. Of course, the lady she got a little smart with me. She said, well, I don't know anything that's 100% covered. I said, okay. So anyway, I had to write them out, a $1,200 check. And after that, I was ticked off at the financial office, and I just quit. So, but I will say, I do think that was helping. And it may be something I may go back to once I kind of get things settled. And
But that was still a treatment as much as if you had to keep doing it. It's not really a cure,
Yeah.
but it's just a different
it-
method for controlling.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, one of the reasons I really liked it is because before I went, they wanted me to load up on carbs, so I went and got
Really?
a donut. Yeah.
They actually.
Blue-
Why was that? What was that?
Well,
about?
they want your sugar level up high because when they're pumping that insulin,
It's
into
coming
you,
down.
It's coming down.
Oh, and when it
and
comes down, it comes down.
Yes, sir. And so they monitor it the
Yeah.
whole time, and they don't want you to crash.
Oh, I tell you,
So-
when I come down, sometimes. In slow motion.
Yeah,
You know,
I
with
get the
that.
shakes real bad.
I mean, everybody's like, "Can you move faster?" You know.
Yeah. Well, the other good thing, I took my little bag of Reese's peanut butter cups with me.
Hey, they come
So-
in handy.
So when it comes down, they want you to eat something. Well, that's my go-to.
I got some peppermints. So it's my go-to. Like, here, drop a
Yeah.
peppermint in the mouth. So.
Well, anyway, I went through that process, and like I say, I may go back through it again, and that may be something that your viewers,
No, I've never heard of it. It's never
Yeah.
been offered to me. I
Yeah.
never even knew.
well,
it
it's
existed.
a real thing, and it was fairly new, and they were trying to get it at different locations, and get it out there. So
Yeah.
But my doctor was skeptical of it to begin with. But this doctor with the or whatever, degenerative eyesight,
Yeah.
he's the one that sold him on it. They went to a seminar together. And so anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Comanche County Hospitals where I
Okay.
go, and that's where
Yeah.
they've got it.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're trying to get it different hospitals.
You know, kind of like me. It's like, whatever I'm doing, which even my doctor says, he's finally reached a point. He says, whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Yeah.
He said, I don't even want to know. And I'm like, you okay? I think it's pretty routine. So, what does the future look like? I mean,
Well, actually, my doctor says the same thing. He says, he's looking at my blood work. He says, you're doing everything right. Just keep doing what you're doing. So, that's what I'm doing. I just try to maintain my diet and work like a dog right now. And
Yeah.
then when we get caught up, I'll start back to my weightlifting. And 'cause that's something I enjoy doing. I've always done it.
yeah.
It's just something I enjoy.
You know,
doing.
I do lift some weights, and one of the things they always say, that whole euphoric feeling. What do they call that? The where you the endorphins. They're supposed to. I always keep saying, "Where's those endorphins?"
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had that. Like, I love this thing, but I do it. So, but you did mention something earlier about your family. We grew up together. I know your sisters really well, and here's you. Where are they? I mean, how are you different than what they are right now?
Well, I don't know if I really understand that question.
I don't want to break it down too much deeper because I do know them, and so.
Well, one of my sisters has diabetes. Well, actually, two of them. My oldest sister has it, and she
So
takes.
there's 2 out of 3.
She takes
or
the
actually 3
injection.
out of 4 if you look at you on
Yeah,
that list.
and
so.
of course Donna, she's like a year and a half older than I am.
Yep.
Her son's the one that's got it real bad.
Yes.
And but she's got it. So that's my youngest sister. Is in Oklahoma. She doesn't have it so far. It may catch up to her as she gets older.
Yes.
So
I don't want to put her in a different category, but my memory, she's like maybe 8 or 9 years younger than
Yeah.
us, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she, hopefully, God willing, she doesn't, find that out someday.
yeah,
But
she's got rheumatoid arthritis, but as far as I know, no diabetes.
we could do an arthritis sucks, but life doesn't have to story if you want to. But
Yeah.
I tell you what, there is such a thing called arthritis. I used to like, come on, let's go. I can't move. I'm stuck. I'm frozen in time here. But yeah. But Well, Brad,
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming in today. You're telling your story,
Thank you.
and you're right. We want these shows to be entertaining, informative, but we also want to be a go-to when people are just saying, "What do you do?" And everybody,
Exactly.
we lead by examples. So, your family, I'm sure, is looking at you. You've always kind of been the go-to guy in your family. I just kind of know they kind of like, oh my gosh, there's Brad, coming. But still, it's you're an inspiration, and you're very healthy, and we want you to stay that way for sure. So
Well, I appreciate it. And like I told you before, if we can help anybody out there,
anybody, one
battling,
person, I'm happy.
right, me too, because I don't want them to be like us and not know where to go to get help.
No, don't do
There
that.
is help out there, Diabetes for Dummies. I mean, that helped us. I mean, there's stuff on the interweb. Now, one thing you got to watch out for is some of the stuff that people are pushing that take berberine.
No, I'm not pushing anything.
Well, I'm not either. I will say one thing
listen to
that
your
has
doctor.
seemed to help my sugar level a little bit is Ceylon cinnamon capsules.
Yes, I'm familiar with this.
Okay, I do take those.
Oh.
And it does seem to help.
Did you
somewhat.
know this, that the most ancient of all pharmaceuticals, so this is something thousands of years old, is cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
And the number one cinnamon that you can buy is called Saigon cinnamon. That I have become that. First of all, I've always loved cinnamon, the taste of cinnamon. I mean, it's just the best flavor. But you can start taking I don't take any kind of a cinnamon pill or anything. I just eat it raw.
Yeah.
I put it in my coffee. I take it and just dump it all over my oatmeal. I mean, I probably put two. It turns to like mud.
Yeah.
You have to really stir up the cinnamon. But I mean, those are the things that I want to tell people on these shows that I do. I don't want to. You're never going to catch me telling anybody what to do. Okay. I'm never going to tell you what to do, but I will
Right.
tell you what I do, okay?
Yeah.
Because I have diabetes, and I have figured out how to get it down to 5.5, which as far as I know, that's the number that everybody's like. You got to have to be 5.5. 5.4 is too low. 5.6 is too high. So 5.5 is just right. So
Well, I'm at a 6. I'm working at it.
get
I'll
you
get
some
there.
cinnamon. I'll take you to the store where they sell it, and we'll get you some today. So.
Sounds good.
But Brad, thank you very much. We appreciate your
Thank
time
you,
here
Brian.
today. Thank you for being honest and telling your story.
Absolutely.
I hope maybe we can even get you to come back in the future here sometime when you have even better stories. Well, speaking about when's the next hunt again? Is that coming up in October?
November, going
November.
on a mule deer hunt in Colorado. Got drawn, for that.
Well,
hunt,
by golly,
so.
you need to take pictures then, because we want to keep up with you and know how you're doing. Okay.
All right, I don't have any more room on the wall, so.
Well, I got some walls right here. We'll
right.
we'll have that to Brad wall right here. We'll dedicate a wall to you.
Sounds good.
But thanks you for joining us and participating, and thank you everybody for watching us on Diabetes Sucks, but Life Doesn't Have to. I'm Brian Reynolds. Thank you.